But he'll be back. I'm not worried about Derrick Lewis. People have counted him out his whole career, his entire career. Ever since I've been watching the dude from his very first fight, people have counted him out. Let's just talk about what happened in the Derrick Lewis fight. So one of the problems, and not really problems because he's had so much success, but one of the issues for a guy like Derrick Lewis fighting a guy like Cyril Gane is, one, we knew going in, and we talked about it last week, that Gane was known to be a really good striker. And Derrick is a dangerous striker. And his trainer, Bob Perez, is an amazing coach. And you can see the improvement in Derrick and his footwork and his kicks and his defense and everything else. But it's still not at the level that Cyril Gane was at. The other problem with Derrick, and I tweeted out this, but if they let me make out his schedule for his next camp, I would spend 80% of that checking leg kicks. That has been the downfall for Derrick, is that he's not good at checking those kicks. He just takes them and he takes them. And when that happens, not only does it slow you down, and Derrick's a very methodical fighter. He's a very pick his spots fighter. He's not going to overwhelm you with a flurry of punches. But when you take a leg away, especially from a guy like Derrick Lewis, you take away a lot of power. Power is in the hips. Power is in the legs. Power is in the feet. Power has nothing to do with upper body. Power has nothing to do with your arms. It is all from the waist down. That's where the power comes from in fighting. And Derrick is no different. And if you work on those legs, if you're a skilled striker, and a southpaw presented problems, I thought, for Derrick as well. But if I'm running this camp, and Bob Perez will crucify me for saying this because he's so much smarter than me. And they'll tell you, like, I'm not going to get Derrick to do that stuff. Derrick's going to do what he's going to do. He's had success his whole career. He's not going to change now. And I get it. But God, if he could just learn how to check, I would have him spend 80% of his time checking kicks. I would have him spending like 10% of his time stuffing takedowns, 5% working on his clinch work, and 5% working on striking. And I saw somebody, I don't know if it was truck driver Pookie or Alex, or I don't remember who it was, but somebody said, oh, he's got to work on his cardio. Listen, he's never had great cardio. It's not something you're going to get Derrick to have is great cardio. It's just not going to happen. And that's why he's a more methodical fighter. I mean, when you watch a guy like Cyril Gane or Jose Aldo, whoever you saw on that card, and they've got the cardio. Clay Guida, remember that dude? He never stopped, but he had the cardio to be able to do that. And that's just not Derrick's game. But I don't think Derrick's done, man. Listen, he's still young enough to make hay in the heavyweight division. He's still dangerous. And I promise you, there's not a lot of guys that want to get in the ring and mix it up with him. Even Cyril Gane didn't want to mix it up with him. He fought a really smart fight. He was elusive in the pocket. He switched up his style. He switched up his movement, head movement. He employed the leg kicks. He threw his combos and got out of the pocket. He never let Derrick get his hands on him and wrap him up and get him in the clinch. And when he did a great job of getting his back off the cage. It was a really good technical fight. And the scary thing is this dude is still learning. And he's a heavyweight, but he's not heavy, which means he's faster, but he still has power. He still has speed. He's technical. I'll be interested to see what his ground game looks like. That's going to be the interesting thing. If he comes up against a guy in the heavyweight division that's better than him on the ground, what's he going to do? I don't know. I want to see it. But I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to give some dude fits. Does that mean Francis Ngannou is going to knock him out? I don't know. I mean, Derrick Lewis didn't. But Derrick, for some reason, and I don't know if it was the moment, the city, the pressure, the game plan against him. I don't know what it was, but he just didn't seem like he was himself. He didn't pull the trigger. And it sucked because I really wanted him to win that title in his hometown and for the hometown fans. But you don't always get to write your own ending. But he'll be back. I'm not worried about Derrick Lewis. People have counted him out his whole career, his entire career. Ever since I've been watching the dude from his very first fight, people have counted him out. White Magic said Derrick Lewis is Kimbo Slice, crazy hands, but that's it. Not really. And here's why, Mike Magic. because he is so strong and he does have some technique. You just don't see it. You don't realize it. But that's one thing that you can't measure with Derrick is his strength. You can be really good at jiu-jitsu. You can be really good at wrestling. There was a guy, I saw an article that this guy was talking about fighting Derrick Lewis. And he's like, I had his back. I had his back. I had a choke. And at one point, he decided that he was going to stand up. And he literally stood up while I was on his back still. I tell this story all the time about Derrick Lewis. I saw him have on his back a Gracie Barra black belt had mount on Derrick Lewis. Mount in an MMA fight for Legacy locally here. I'm sitting cage side. I'm watching this dude. He's from Alaska. He trained under Sam Hoger. But I'm watching Ricky something. I'm watching this black belt. And this is before Derrick became who he is. And he never really had a ground game. And you're thinking, oh God, if a black belt has mount, you're done. No, because Derrick with a black belt mounted on his chest, punching him in the face, Derrick just decides, I'm ready to stand up, and literally picks the dude up and throws him off of him, stands up and finishes the fight and wins. You can't train against that. I don't care if you are a black belt. The only guy that really didn't work against was Daniel Cormier because his wrestling is so elite. So don't sleep on his skill set, White Magic. He's not just Kimbo Slice. I think that's doing a severe disservice to what Derrick Lewis has accomplished in the heavyweight division. Kimbo Slice didn't come nearly close to doing what he's done. He's going to be the all-time knockout king in the UFC. Is Kimbo Slice claiming that? No. And you don't get that by luck. A lot of that is skill and heart and determination and perseverance and not just being some street fighter dude.
Daddy's making a YouTube video!